So configuration manager. Uh, the configuration manager version we are using is 17.02. So if I go here on the menu about, we can see here version 17.02. This version was created February 2017, or the last day of development was February 2017. So it's over a year because we are recording this video in April 2018. So we need to keep updating. So what we are going to do right now is updating this version to 17.10. So not the latest. It's just because it's easy for us to go in for. If you have a plain new environment, you can update to the latest without any problem. I want to show you right now how to quickly update to 17.10, and then later on what's the steps you are going to run in production when you have clients. So as soon as we do some work with configuration manager to update to the version 18.02. So right now let's see how to update to 17.10. So the first thing is where. So like I said, any administration task, we need to go to the administration node, and we are going to clear here updates and servicing. So we have already some versions available for us. So we have the 17.02 hotfix, 17.06, 17.10. So Microsoft sometimes may automatically download. So in our case here, we are going to select 17.10, and we are going to download. Okay, but before we actually download, let's open a log. So we are going to do lots of log. So I'm going to open down the CM trace here, and I'm going to open the log is on the configuration manager logs. I need administrator access. So, and the log is the DMP downloader. I don't want to look at anything that's already there. I just want to look at new stuff. So what I'm going to do here is ignore. So what is going to bring me is open the log, but plain. So anything that's new from now on, the same trace will show me. So let me go back here to configuration manager, and let's select the 17.10, and I will click here to download. So configuration manager tells you that things will start happening, and if you want to monitor what's going on, you can use the DPM downloader or the monitoring stats. So the first one is monitoring, and we have here a node updates and servicing stats. So we have here now the 17.10, and you can click here show stats to see exactly what is happening. So I haven't started anything. I'm going to look at the logs. Now we can see exactly what is happening. So lots of stuff started to happen. So configuration manager starts to download some files from the internet, and we'll save those files locally. So if you have less than 15 gig, configuration manager will not even try to install anything. So just make sure where you installed configuration manager has at least 15 gig. And configuration manager will always save what it downloads inside easy setup payload here, and also cd.latest. It depends on what exactly you are doing. Okay, and here see that there was a timeout. So as expected, like I said at the beginning, or server is below the spec, so things may not work as expected. So we can just wait a bit, and we can try shortly to just make sure that everything will be downloaded properly. You can come here, and sometimes the button will be available. In this case, it's not available because now it's already on the queue. So configuration manager will do this for us. So you can see here it's gray out. So it's just now wait. Now configuration manager will do do the work for us. If you want to speed up this process, so there are a couple of ways to do that. The first, I think the easiest way will be the registry, local machine, software, Microsoft, SMS, components, SMS, D, MP downloader, easy setup download. Let's just change it to 1. Now this will probably speed up the download. So normally you don't need to do this because your environment will be quite powerful. So it's just if you're playing in a lab with low specs. So I'm going to leave as it is right now. And as soon as the download is completed, I'll come back to you. Okay, now the download is started. So we can see that there is a download file with bits. And here on the easy setup, we have some files being downloaded. So this will take sometimes, we are talking about a configuration manager. So it's about 700 mega plus. So I will leave this download, and as soon as it's done, I will come back to you. Okay, so now the download has been completed. So you see here a lot of things happen. And here we can see I just refreshed. So I click on this button here, and we have here ready to install. And we see here on the easy setup, we have 1.93 gig uncompressed. So right now, what I'm going to do is not even install. We are going to check if the installation will run smoothly. So let's click here on the Run Prerequisite Check. And now Configuration Manager will check if things will go smoothly. So if we go here to Monitoring, Updates in Servicing Stats, shortly the 1710 will appear here. So I'm going just to pause the video here while it's not here. So I'll be right back. So 1710 just appeared, and if you click Show Stats, then it will tell you exactly what's happened. So the download happened, now it's doing the replication, and then later on we'll do the prerequisite check. So the replication basically is copying the content to the location, and the location, what I mean by that is would be down the content library and update any location that is required. So this will take a while. The prerequisite check will take a while to complete, so I will pause the video as soon as the prerequisite check has been completed and we can continue with the installation. I will come back to you. So I left it running for, well, quite a while, so a couple of hours. So if I refresh now, it has been completed, and on the installation it says in progress, but basically it says extracted. So it took about less than 1 hour. I finished about 5:55. So if you look at the whole replication, we start 45. So we are talking about 10-15 minutes max to actually run the prereq. So after you run the prereq, you just click OK here. If you refresh, you get the information the pre-requirements check has passed. So everything is OK. So I go back here to Administration, Updating Servicing, and now we can have here Install Update Pack. So just click on it, and here is going to tell you what exactly is going to be done with this update pack. There is an update for the site server, the console, the client, fix for known issues, any new features. So I'm going to click Next. Out of those new features, there are things we can enable like surface, and there are things already enabled by default. So we can client per cache, task sequence. What I'm going to do is going to just disable those, so I'm not enable new features. I just then later on want to tell you the process on how to enable and see what exactly happened. So let's click next. And here is a critical one. So right now what we are going to do is upgrade without validation. This is for the client. So what happened is it's going to start updating the clients. So it will update the client package. However, if you want to validate the client before, let's say your large environment and so on, then you would use validate in pre-production collection. So it's not the case. Imagine that right now we are going to update without validation. So any new client will get then the latest client version. Next, and here I will accept the license terms. So if you have any software assurance information, you can put the information here. Not the case. I will put here next. And then the summary. Before I start this, let me show you a new log. So is the CM update log. So again, I will ignore the existing lines. This is the whole process. So let me just click here now, next. And now the configuration manager is putting this request in the queue. So the request now is in the queue, and shortly it will start doing the upgrade. There are parts of the upgrade that will stop the server, stop the services. So before that, you can actually validate things through the monitoring. So here on the 1710 that we were before on the monitoring, updates in servicing stats, you can see here to show stats what exactly is going on during the installation. So as soon as some of the services has been stopped, we will not be able to use the console anymore. So my recommendation is close the console, or before that, close any remote console. So during the upgrade, there is no console being used. You close and then monitor through the CM update log. So the upgrade will take another 10-15 minutes, depending on the size of the environment, of course. This environment here is really small, there is no client. So it will be quite fast, 10-15 minute stop. And then I will, as soon as it's completed, I will come back to it. So hopefully by now it has finished. So let's have a look. Lots of things has happened. Let's go all to the end. So it's still happening. So I will pause the video once more and I will be right back. So you can see here now the configuration manager has been upgraded. So we can see that lots of things happening. There are of course some errors. It depends on the speed of your environment. You're going to have more or less. So at the end, normally we have those replication configuration monitor registry issues, but then configuration manager picks up after some tries. And now the next step is, so configuration manager server has been upgraded. So now we need to update the console. If you just open the console, so configuration manager console, it will identify that there is a new version available, and now you can easily update the console with just a click, basically. So it's try to connect, tells, well, there is a new version. So you are running 8498 and the new version is 8577. So just click OK. So as soon as you do this, it's going down to invoke the installer. So it should be quite quickly. because it's on the site server, so download the files is basically locally. Otherwise, we will connect to the server to download the files. So then this may take some time, and that is just a normal installer. And while the console is being updated, you can look at the log that's written on the C that we have here. The config image admin UI setup and admin UI setup verbals. So in this case, just double click. So you can see here there is nothing, but because I just open. If I close and open again and unselect the ignore, now we will be able to see all the files, or everything that has already been there. So you can see here there is a lot of stuff. So everything that happened with that log so far. And hopefully, no, it's still doing. So I will pause the video. As soon as it's done, I'll come back to you. Okay, so the installation is completed. So it was successful. So you can see here, and then it launched the console automatically. So we have the new console here. A easy way to check is just go to the menu and about. So we have now the version 17.10 installed. This would be the same or similar for the PowerShell. So if we open the PowerShell, we need to accept the security for this Microsoft Corporation publisher. So let's use exactly the same get module. Oops. Configuration manager, and let's select the version. So now we have the version 17.10 being used. So it's quite easy. And remember that when we did the upgrade, we didn't enable any other features. So right now, let's go to administration, expand, update, and servicing, and now we have here the features. On the features, there are two types of features. So pre-release and release. So things that are not fully completed yet, and there are things that are fully completed. And you can see here there is on and off. So there are a few options here that as soon as you enable, so first of all, the pre-release we cannot enable unless we tell the configuration manager that we can enable. So there is a few extra checkbox for us to check. That we are going to select, use when we do the cloud management gateway. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable one of the features that is here, data warehousing service point. Before I enable, let me just show you, if I try to install a new configuration manager role, the data warehouse will not be here on the list. So if you look at the D here, we have only distribution point. So if I cancel and now enable the feature, so let's get the data warehouse here, right click, turn on. Are you sure? Yes. So now data warehouse is enabled. So what we need to do actually is close the console and open the console again. And then we will be able to actually see if this feature has been enabled or not. So let's go to administration, sites and service, and let's add a new row. And here we're supposed to see, oops, too many clicks. On the site system selection, we have down the data warehouse service point. So it's just enable. We close the console and open the console, and then the feature will be enabled for us to use. Okay, hopefully you like this video, and I will see you on the next one.